Ever wonder what it was like to get the news before the internet, before TV, even before your morning coffee routine included a freshly printed paper? Today, we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating history of news and uncovering the story of the very first newspaper in the world. It's a tale that involves ancient empires, revolutionary technology, and our timeless human desire to know what's happening around us. So, what was the first newspaper? If you ask historians, they'll point you to a publication with a rather long name, Relation aller Phänomene an Gedenkwürdigen Historien. That's German for Account of All Distinguished and Commemorable News. This newspaper was first printed way back in 1605 in the city of Strasbourg, which at the time was part of the Holy Roman Empire, but is now in modern-day France. The man behind this groundbreaking publication was Johann Carolus. What's so interesting about Carolus is that he didn't actually start out as a newspaper man. He was a bookbinder and a scribe. Before 1605, he was making a living by handwriting news bulletins for wealthy subscribers. These were essentially summaries of news he gathered from various sources, like official correspondence and travelers. You can imagine how painstaking that was, writing out every single copy by hand. He probably had a team of scribes, but still, it was incredibly labor-intensive. Then, Carolus had a brilliant idea. He had recently bought a printing press. He realized that instead of hand-copying these newsletters, he could print them. This would save him a massive amount of time and allow him to produce more copies, reach a wider audience, and do it all much faster. So in 1605, he made the switch from handwritten newsletters to a printed weekly paper. And just like that, the world's first newspaper was born. The World Association of Newspapers and News Publishers officially recognized the Relation in 2005 on its 400th anniversary as the world's first newspaper. But what did it actually look like? Well, don't picture a modern bunch. It was much smaller, usually just a few pages, and it reported on things like court politics, trade news, and military conflicts from across Europe. It was a collection of stories, a digest of what was happening in the known world, delivered on a regular, weekly basis. This regularity is key to what defines a newspaper. It wasn't just a one-off pamphlet. It was a consistent source of information. Now you might be thinking, was that really the first asterisk? What about other parts of the world? It's a great question because the idea of sharing news is as old as civilization itself. For example, in ancient China, during the Tang Dynasty, as early as the 7th century, there was something called the Dibao, which translates to court reports or palace reports. These were government bulletins that shared official announcements, court appointments, and political news. However, there's a crucial difference between the Dibao and the newspaper printed by Johann Carolus. The Dibao were handwritten or printed using woodblocks, but they were primarily for government officials and were not mass distributed to the general public in the same way. They were an internal communication tool for the imperial bureaucracy, not a commercial product for public consumption. So, while they were an early form of news dissemination, they don't quite fit the modern definition of a newspaper that the Relation does. Let's head back to Europe. The idea of printing news caught on fast. Just a few years after Carolus's innovation, another German newspaper appeared in 1609, called the Avisa Relation oder Zeiten. Again, with the long German names. This one was published in Wolfenbüttel and is another contender for the title of the oldest newspaper. For a long time, there was a debate about which came first, the Relation or the Avisa. But the discovery of a petition from Carolus dated 1605, where he mentions his new printed paper, settled the debate for most historians, giving his Relation the edge. The printing press, invented by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440, was the real game changer. It made the mass production of text possible and affordable. Without it, Carolus would have just been another scribe. The printing press democratized information. It took knowledge that was once held by the elite, the clergy, the nobility, and made it accessible to a much broader audience. Newspapers were a direct result of this technological revolution. They were, in many ways, the first form of mass media. As the 17th century progressed, newspapers started popping up all over Europe. In England, the first regularly published newspaper was the Courante, or News from Italy. Germany, Hungary, Spain, and France, which started in 1621. These early papers were often translations of news from Dutch and German sources. They were small, single-sheet publications, but they fed a growing public appetite for news. This leads us to another very important milestone in newspaper history, the London Gazette. First published in 1665, it holds the distinguished title of being the oldest continuously published newspaper in the United Kingdom. It began its life as the Oxford Gazette because the royal court of King Charles II had moved to Oxford to escape the Great Plague of London. It was an official government journal, reporting on royal proclamations, military appointments, and official notices. When the court moved back to London, the paper was renamed the London Gazette, and it's been published ever since. That's over 350 years of continuous publication. While it's not a newspaper in the commercial, public interest sense we know today, it doesn't have journalists investigating stories. Its longevity is incredible. It's a living piece of history, a direct link back to the 17th century. So let's recap our journey. The story of the first newspaper isn't just about a single publication. It's about a series of innovations and a fundamental shift in how we share information. We have the ancient, handwritten government reports in China, the Debao, which show the age-old need for organized news. Then we have the revolutionary moment in 1605, when Johann Carolus used a printing press to create the Relation, the first mass-produced, regularly scheduled newspaper for public sale. From there, the idea spread like wildfire. Germany as a visa followed in 1609. England got its Couranti in 1621. And the London Gazette, founded in 1665, is still with us today, a testament to the enduring power of the printed word. These early newspapers laid the foundation for everything that followed. They created the concept of a news cycle. They fostered public debate and political awareness. They were the ancestors of the papers we read today, the news websites we scroll through, and even the videos we watch to learn about the world. They were the start of a media revolution that is still unfolding. The next time you check the news on your phone or see a newspaper headline, take a moment to think about Johann Carolus, a simple bookbinder who decided there had to be a better way to share stories. He didn't just create a product. He helped create the modern world of information we live in today. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes a single idea, powered by a new technology, can change everything. Thanks so much for watching and taking this historical journey with us. What do you think is the biggest change in how we get news today compared to the 1600s? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next exploration into the fascinating stories behind our world. See you next time.